Good evening, everyone, and welcome here to round 11 of the 2021 championship season. We're in Canada for Trois, Rivieres, and on pole for today's race, it is the one-off, Stephen Pollard III. Stephen Pollard III has done wonders on the road courses before, and for this first start of the season, his second attempt of the season, he tried to attempt with Breeding Enterprises for the Daytona 500, failed to make that race. But with CM Racing's number 0 on pole by only a couple hundredths over the championship, well, he was the championship leader. He is no more. DJ Kurtis, he comes in this race trailing Jesse Turner. Turner has the chance. He starts 16th today. He has the chance to tie a legend, Richard Johnson. Johnson won 3 straight races before in Season 1 and Season 3. However, that has never been done before in the series. Jesse Turner comes in this race after back-to-back wins at Talladega and at New Hampshire. He could tie history today if he comes from 16th on the grid to finish first today. However, he's got a lot of traffic to make up. This track is like racing on open wheel in Monaco. It's just so hard to make passes. Very rare will you find drivers making some good overtakes. However, last year we saw a lot of phenomenal racing, and we're bound to see that happening today. Stephen Pollard III, I can't imagine what is going through his head. He is back on the grid, and he is on pole. This could be a shocker of a race. Alongside of him is DJ Kurtis, Dajon Weeks, and Anthony Marchese. We haven't even gotten about him. Marchese in car 33 for North Border Motorsports, the best qualifying effort for that team. Marchese back after a horrific accident in the season finale in 2020. Marchese's first FBRL start of the season, and he lines up 4th. Cody Llamas 3rd in the championships in 5th. Jesse Turner, like we mentioned, the championship leader, will have to come from 16th on the grid. Let's get down to start this event. 50 laps of racing today in Canada at Trois Rivieres. Stephen Pollard III in the 0 has not been racing full-time in the Sony Cup Series in a handful of seasons now. It has been a long time since Pollard III has competed at the highest level on a full-time basis. Pollard III for CM Racing, this is not the first time Pollard has ran really well in a CM Racing car. Go back to Cleveland in 2017. And Stephen Pollard III, the old veteran, runner-up for the championship in Season 6. Looks to still possibly have it. For 1 lap pace, he definitely did for qualifying. But for 50 laps of racing today, alongside one of the best drivers on the grid, currently still racing full-time with DJ Kurtis, how's the race gonna pan out? We're racing at Trois Rivieres. Pollard III trying to cut clear. DJ Kurtis diving up the inside. Kurtis trying to take the lead. They make contact in turn 2. Oh, contact further back. Bobby Jones. He has no luck, does he? Bobby Jones, he qualified well. P12 on the grid. Oh, and near contact with Shelley in the barrier. But Bobby Jones qualified the best out of his MER teammates. He got turned hard right into the barrier. Here's what happened with Bobby Jones. Dylan Young. Oh, contact between Young and Shelley. Shelley came down into Bobby Jones after making contact. And nowhere Bobby Jones really could have done. The 2 TPR cars tangled and took out Bobby Jones. Replay of it, the teammates, yeah, Dylan Young, wherever you going there, 3 wide. And Dylan Young made contact there, ultimately caused an accident. On the jump down to this, back straightaway? Anyway, DJ Kurtis is taking the lead. Marchese in the 33, kind of pushed the 0 down to that corner there. So Stephen Pollard III on the back foot. And Pollard III trying to defend against Anthony Marchese. Marchese nearly lost his life in the season finale incident in the Sony Cup Series. Had such a horrific accident. He was sidelined for many months. And now is back, and he's running really well. Qualified amazingly in that 33. He's qualified in the top 5, and after lap 1 of the event, he's up the 3rd. That the championship leader of Jesse Turner got a big piece of this, and yes, he did. back with Bobby Jones. He was the one that just barely hit Bobby Jones while he was spinning. And the championship leader, Jesse Turner, is in trouble. After completing only one lap, the championship leader has had to come down pit road for an unscheduled pit stop and make damage repair. And that has dropped Jesse Turner way down the running order. And this is going to hurt his chances at extending his advantage in the championship race. Kurtis getting the jump on the field on lap 1. That is going to be danger to everyone else in this event. With DJ Kurtis, one of the best road course ringers of the series. He's out front, poised to take the championship lead back. Coming in this race, top 3 in the championship are separated by 10 points. And 10 points, that can be overturned very, very easily. First to second gets a total of 10 extra points there. So it is very important winning races. However, in this event, who is going to come out on top today and win at Trois Rivieres? Well, passing is very tough to do, and with DJ Kurtis out front, it's going to be very tough to do to get by him. Stephen Paul III's in second, Anthony Marchese, 2 unlikely contenders to be fighting for the race win today. But Paul III, Marchese, they're second and third. Dajon Weeks is in fourth, looking for another good solid points day. But with DJ Kurtis just up the road, not going to be gaining a whole lot of points at this moment. John Arndt, the 43's in fifth. Matthew Rodriguez, Ryan Acosta. Acosta had a horrendous New Hampshire. Wanted to come in this race, put it all behind him. Looks like he kind of is at the moment, being in the top 10. He ran top 10 for nearly every race before New Hampshire, and then had a off week. That was very miserable. Cody Llamas, he has the most top 10s of any driver so far this season of 8 out of the 10 races. Looking to put 9 on the board for this afternoon. He's racing with Dylan Young, who's in ninth. Chris Dodd's under a challenge from Nick Mace, trying to go around the outside. And Nick Mace is going to make that pass to get in the top 10. Chris Dodd trying to stick his nose back in there. Nick Mace trying to get 10th place away. Looks like he'll possibly do it. But Dodd's trying to fight back with him. They're side by side. Mace is going to get him. Mace is in the top 10. Then it's Dom Caps in the 6. He ran really well in practice. Alex Benyacko in the Flex Seal machine, 13th. Sean Harple, he won here before in seasons past in 2019. Charles Sanford, Dylan Schwallenberg. Schwallenberg's 5th in the championship race. He's outside the top 10. James Shelley, Zachary Fitzwater, Kyle Collins. We'll run through the field for you, show you where everyone's running. Then Eric Tamax. That's the top 20. Then Jordan Fisher just outside of the top 20 places. Luke Martin for Horizon Group for this race weekend, the 73 machine. And then Brian Griffin, Jeffrey Lynn, Jake Bassinger. Bassinger's way down the running order in 25th place. Samuel England, Zach Rodgers, Zayden Davidson made the race this weekend. Practiced really well, didn't qualify all too well though. James Sorfox, Alexander Rowe, Charlie Smith, Vince Freeze, Nick Brady, and Eric Burton had an awful run when it came to qualifying, and he's going to have an uphill battle trying to get through everyone. Passing, very tough to do. Doug Lockrow in 35th, Hayden Klein 36th, Brandon Parsons, Jesse Turner. Turner's got to the back end of the pack and is the caboose of this machine. Bobby Jones, 39th. Looks like Jeff James is in 40th, the hometown hero. The drama off the racetrack between Jeff James and Martin Motorsports has been continuing all week, but a lot of people have been suspecting that maybe Jeff James would just up and leave that team, but due to contract negotiations, that is not the case, that Jeff James can't do that. And then Jeffery White looks like he's been in some trouble. He's been wrecked, it looks like. He's got a wrecked race car. And Richard Johnson's also out of the race. Here's what happened with Richard Johnson and Jeffery White. Johnson just got into Jeffery White. That was a hard hit for Johnson, and it just destroyed the radiator on that 47 machine. And out of the race. That is 2 weekends in a row. Monster Energy Racing is going to have one of their race cars finishing dead last. 5th place. Look at this move by Matthew Rodriguez. Big dive. What a move. Wow. Matthew Rodriguez sent it down in the corner on the STP Dodge. And Matthew Rodriguez is up into the top 5. The kind of moves you just have to go for. Just look at this. From so far back, just sent it in there, bodied his way past of John Arndt. And Arndt, on the last lap of New Hampshire, fell from 2nd to 6th place, lost a handful of points there. Matthew Rivieres trying to take advantage of this and get as much points as possible. Track position is key. It is so easy to defend your position at Trois Rivieres. There's practically one line around the entire racetrack, so it makes passing extremely tough to manage. But Rodriguez in the top 5, 12 in the race. It is very minimal passing going on at Trois Rivieres. A lot of drivers trying to pick and choose where they can make passes done. Zachary Fitzwater trying to defend against Eric DeMax. Eric DeMax in the 4 had a strong start to the season. Luke Martin trying to power his way past of Jordan Fisher. Fisher and Martin down to the turn 3. Oh, that tire barrier is very tricky to manage. And Martin driving for a car that this team won here last year with Kyle Collins. Horizon Group has kind of struggled on the offset for 2021. It's been difficult to manage for that race team. However, a lot of focus for Horizon Group has been pointed toward 2022. And their drivers expect to be fighting for wins and be a championship contender for next season, as everyone else starts focusing a little bit for 2022 as well. Jake Bassinger in the 97, continuing to struggle to make his way up the running order. Bassinger still in 25th. About 10 laps ago, that's where he was. Just cannot find his way around these race cars. I'm up to 15 laps into the event. The race for the lead has stayed about a second. Stephen Pollard III in the CM Racing Chevy trying to stay with DJ Kurtis. Back for 3rd. Anthony Marchese doing what he can with his machine, no matter what. Anthony Marchese has delivered and been phenomenal on his comeback drive. Just about 4 seconds adrift from DJ Kurtis and running 3rd and fending off Dajon Weeks and Matthew Rodriguez to hold a solid spot on the podium. But Dajon Weeks has been trying so many times down this straightaway to get a run on the 33 Cheez-Its Camry. Can he do a move like Matthew Rodriguez did? He's not looking for it, but Weeks really pushes in the corner there. Gives Matthew Rodriguez a chance down the straightaway. But that has been all the action as Stephen Pollard III looks for some sort of run to get around DJ Kurtis. Llamas in the 48 and the Ally Chevy has been trying to fend off challenges from Dylan Young and Nick Mace. He's been doing that for about 10 laps now, and they've been putting on a good scrap, but Dylan Young's not been able to get around the 48. Young looks a little bit better, but 8th, 9th, and 10th putting on a good fight. Cody Llamas, 3rd in the championship, right now 2nd in the title race. It's looking pretty good for another top 10 result. Dylan Schwallenberg down to the inside of Alex Benyacko. This is for 13th place. Schwallenberg trying to get this position done. Dylan Schwallenberg enters this race 5th, or actually 4th in the championship after Ryan Acosta's penalties. Ryan Acosta got penalized after that miserable race at New Hampshire like we were talking about. Benyacko trying to fight back. Benyacko's had an amazing start to the 2021 season, but he's on the outside now. And Schwallenberg's going to pick off a race car. Very tricky to make any pass done. And Schwallenberg has got a position on the H&S champion. 2 H&S champions doing a good job for 13th place. Race for 12th place. Dylan Schwallenberg working on Dom Caps. Cat's got a little loose in turn 3. And Dylan Schwallenberg has been doing so well this season with what he has at Rodriguez Racing, trying to get comfortable at that organization. And Dylan Schwallenberg and Alex Benyacko have made their way past the Dom Caps. Schwallenberg to P12, Benyacko back up to P13. Dylan Young looking to make this pass on Cody Llamas to the right-hand side. Llamas trying to defend the inside line. That's where you really want to be. You want to be on the inside, but Dylan Young's taking it right to the outside line. Nick Mace watching this happen. Nick Mason's having a very good race to be in the top 10. Anything for a top 10 for Mace Enterprises is a very good result for them. And Dylan Young made that pass work. And Dylan Young is up to 8th place. Championship leader Jesse Turner has been able to move his way up to 35th. And trying to pick off as many race cars as possible. We know that 17 has some ponies under the hood. We know Turner Performance engines are some of the best on the grid. And Turner trying to use that for all it's worth to try and get past as many back markers as possible. The Cloud 9, the Red Bull, the Alpha Tauri of Doug Lockrow just up ahead. He started shotgun on the field. Used a Provo to start 42nd. He's up to 34th. And Turner slowly trying to pick his way through race cars, trying to do damage control at the moment. Bassinger finally getting a chance to attack Ryan Griffin. Oh, contact there a little bit. Bassinger trying to get as much road as possible to get on the gas. Ryan Griffin entering this race made an announcement. He won't be returning to Monster Energy Racing. We talked about that in the New Hampshire race, that Griffin and team was not working out really well. That morale at the Monster Energy Racing team wasn't working as well as everyone talked about. The rumor was true. And it ended up being announced the week after that Ryan Griffin will not be returning to that team. He will be going to drive for CM Racing, which that is a big signing and a big move by Jay Bassinger to make that overtake and finally get past of the 37 of Ryan Griffin. Griffin is low in the standings. He comes into this event 27th in the points, and that is the lowest Ryan Griffin has ever been in the championship race ever in his career. And we know he won 7 times in 2019, 2 times in 2020. Looks like there could be a pass between Zayden Davidson and Zach Rogers. Davidson, his future unknown. Zach Rogers, we know he won't be back. He's going to step away to do other things. But Davidson not able to get the power down to get past the 99. Getting a change for 3rd place. Here comes Dajon Weeks, sending it to the inside of Anthony Marchese. Lap 21 on the board, and Dajon Weeks in car 3 trying to get up into 3rd place. Weeks in the number 3 machine. That Jolly Rancher Chevrolet finally gonna make his way past of Anthony Marchese. Pit stop should be coming up shortly. Here they are, the leaders on pit road. DJ Kurtis, Stephen Paul III. Lap 21 on the board. Dajon Weeks stays out, so does Matthew Rodriguez. Anthony Marchese's on pit road. Pit strategy. I wonder how this is gonna pan because we're closing up on halfway in the race. And I wonder if some drivers could possibly stretch it on a 1-stop. An engine failure. Zach Rogers in the 99 had an engine failure right in front of the leaders. Stephen Paul III had to go around the outside of him. So did Anthony Marchese. And just like last year, when a Turner Performance engine went up in smoke, another one goes up in smoke again the very next year. The Hero Motorsports Ford of Zach Rogers. Dajon Weeks stays out another lap to try and get the overcut strategy done, but the rest of the leaders are coming down. Nobody is really staying out. Everyone's just pitting and pitting. Jordan Fisher chose to stay out. Same with Charles Sanford and Kyle Collins, I do believe. DJ Kurtis in car 19 still going to be the net race leader. When all of this cycles out, Stephen Paul III's just a ways behind in the 0. Matthew Rodriguez in the 9 with the overcut strategy stayed out a lap longer, and he was able to get ahead of Anthony Marchese. So that strategy for Matthew Rodriguez worked out a treat, and he's able to pick off Anthony Marchese. Dylan Young's ahead of John Arndt and Ryan Acosta. He was behind both of them before the pit stops. And that's one way to make your passes done, is through pit strategy. Looks like there's a problem with Dom Caps. Caps is sitting on pit road for an extended period of time. He was running in the top 15 and looked like he was going to get a lot of points for today. But the Martin Motorsports Ford, something is amiss with his race car. Dajon Weeks just pitted, and here he comes trying to get out ahead of the 9 of Matthew Rodriguez, but he slid way wide. And Matthew Rodriguez is all the way up into 3rd place after pit stops. Was able to get ahead of the 3 and the 33. So Matthew Rodriguez who won out at Willow Springs earlier in the season, is going to be left to set out for the front two of DJ Kurtis and Stephen Paul III. Looks to also be an issue with the Red Bull of Charles Sanford. Sanford, he comes into this race 20th in the championship standings, and Sanford was just inside of the top 15. And looks like he's going to finish deep in the running order. Something also amiss with the 5 car. Leading halfway in the race will take you through the running order. DJ Kurtis leads right now and looks to like he will take over the championship lead once again, back away from Jesse Turner. He leads over Stephen Paul III. Dom Caps exiting pit road now as a lap down race car. Matt Rodriguez third, Dajon Weeks fourth, Anthony Marchese rounding out the top 5, and North Border Motorsports has got to be thrilled with this. We know North Border Motorsports is getting Rodriguez Racing cars, chassis, and engines, getting pretty much support from that race team, and it hasn't really shown through like it really should, has it? As this team has kind of been a back marker for the most part, running down in the 30s, but road courses are kind of like an equalizer anyway. But with Anthony Marchese behind the wheel, maybe that team's focusing a little bit more on him now that he's back in a race car. 5th place, 6th, Dylan Young. He leapfrogged a handful of race cars in pit stops. John Arndt 7th, Ryan Acosta 8th. Cody Llamas is in 9th. Nick Mays rounding out the top 10. Then it's Alex Benyacko, Dylan Schwallenberg, Chris Dodd, James Shelley, Sean Harple. That's the top 15. Then Zachary Fitzwater, Eric DeMax. Ryan Griffin's actually made up some places during pit stop. He is in 19th in the top 20. Jordan Fisher's in 20th. Samuel England in 21st. Jeffrey Lynn, Charlie Smith. Smith's actually made up a load of positions in 23rd. Jake Bassinger's 24th. And then Zayden Davidson, Alexander Rowe, Vince Freeze, Eric Burton, championship leader, entering the race, 29th. And Jesse Turner, that lap 1 incident really hindered him. Luke Martin's on pit road. He looks like he's on pit road for an extended period of time as well. Doug Lockrow's in the top 30 after starting dead last. Nick Breeding trailing him. Brandon Parsons, and then Kyle Collins, who won this race last year, a dismal 33rd. Hayden Klein, Jeffery White, Bobby Jones. Jones in the 30. I don't know where he is. There he is. He's actually just up the road. And James Sorfox has had some issues. He's the last of the lead lap race cars. James Sorfox actually being just ahead of DJ Kurtis has caused some dirty air on the 19. And this allowed Stephen Paul III, Matthew Rodriguez, and Dajon Weeks to get right to the back bumper of them. Wow, DJ Kurtis struggling just a little bit with lap down race cars. James Sorfox trying to stay on the lead lap. Stephen Paul III, Matthew Rodriguez, Dajon Weeks have not been able to really pose much of a threat against DJ Kurtis. But 4 race cars with about 22 laps to go at the line is still anyone's game, and we possibly have one more pit stop to deal with. DJ Kurtis, we know he is super good on the road. Actually, all 4 of these drivers that are up here are superb on the road courses. But DJ Kurtis in particular has won 3 straight road course races before. Him and Evan Gattuso, the only drivers in SCS history to ever do that. Dylan Young, John Arndt, Ryan Acosta, they've closed to the back bumper of Anthony Marquez. Looking antsy in the 9. Matthew Rodriguez looking to take a peek to the inside of Stephen Paul III. Not able to make a challenge there. But every little ounce of grip you're looking out for. Any position counts on the racetrack. It's so difficult to just get the power down and make a pass without making contact and doing damage to your race car and doing damage to your own race. Matthew Rodriguez in the Napa Camry, possibly gonna have to send it just like he did a handful of laps ago, but he messed up in turn 3. And Dajon Weeks is gonna go right by him. Ryan Acosta side by side with his teammate. This is a race for 7th place. And Acosta has the upper hand, but could John Arndt get the drag off this back straightaway? Arndt side by side, door to door. Acosta's got the line. We've seen drivers send it around the outside. Acosta has him here. He's going to clear him, come up in front of him. Problems for James Shelley in the 71. Shelley had dropped all the way down to 21st. And Shelley, that's another Turner Performance engine that has gone up in smoke. And that's a shame for James Shelley. He comes in this race 16th in the driver standings, the lowest of any Turner Performance driver. And this is a contract year for James Shelley, and this has got to be a big hit for him, as he's wanting to come into this race and prove to his team that he deserves to be on this team for next year. Shelley's just had a miserable start to the 2021 campaign. Rodriguez looking to come back at Dajon Weeks. This is a race for third place. Rodriguez and Weeks side by side down into turn 4. And Rodriguez sends it, clears him. Cleared himself, but Weeks trying to get around him again. Back to his right-hand side. Dajon Weeks trying to send it on the outside of the 9 of Matthew Rodriguez. Rodriguez is very aggressive. He's liable to push him out. What is Rodriguez going to do to try and keep this place? Can he push him around the outside a little longer than he wants to go? Weeks is going to push him out a little bit. He had to run off the course a little bit, but they're side by side, not wanting to give much of room. Dajon Weeks has the advantage. This is a battle to be able to challenge Stephen Pollard III if you can get in front of this driver. Whoa, Rodriguez trying to get back at him. Rodriguez still right there. Can he challenge him? No, Weeks had to slam the door. If they can get into third, whichever driver can get into third, they can make a challenge on Stephen Pollard III and then be able to do something with DJ Kurtis. I do expect these guys to pit one more time, and that pit stop could prove to be very vital. Remember, Dajon Weeks has the freshest tires of this group, so Dajon Weeks might be able to do something as the run progresses. Top 4 is under a blanket right now. Nearly a second gap from DJ Kurtis to Matthew Rodriguez. It's going to be a matter of who blinks first, really. Dajon Weeks is working that back bumper of his teammate. I wonder if Team Orders may come over with CM Racing wanting to be able to strike a challenge on DJ Kurtis. But Stephen Pollard III, I doubt he's going to want to listen to that. This is a chance at victory. His last win coming from Season 18 at Lime Rock. And Pollard III, it's been a long time, but he is struggling with his race car. Dajon Weeks looks like he's a little bit better than him. DJ Kurtis has been able to dominate this race. He got out front of Stephen Pollard III at the start of the event, and nobody has been able to really challenge Kurtis. Pollard III has been able to close up nearly to the back bumper, but not able to be close enough to strike a challenge on the 19. Weeks looking for anywhere to get around of Stephen Pollard III. And Acosta looking to make a move on Anthony Marchese. Marchese has been in the top 5 all race long, but Ryan Acosta looking for redemption after New Hampshire and proving his peers right that he is a talented race car driver. And Ryan Acosta makes a clean pass on a Rodriguez racing car. Unlike last week, however, he's put that behind him, and he's put the Rodriguez racing car behind him as well. He's up to P5. Look how much of a gap in one lap he made on Anthony Marchese. That is big. Anthony Marchese is causing a big stack up from John Arndt, Cody Llamas, Dylan Schwallenberg, and Alex Benyacko. Nick Mason, though, and they have already pitted, I believe. There he is, Nick Mason, Dylan Young, they've already pitted, so some drivers have chosen to short pit. However, the leaders have not. Some drivers further on back outside the top 10 and just inside the top 10 have already pitted. Weeks just is all over Stephen Pollard III. And the funny thing is, DJ Kurtis is also backing up the pack, because Kurtis kind of let Silver Fox and them get along. As we get back to the line, it'll be 12 laps of racing to go. Ryan Acosta has closed this gap significantly. Acosta was fighting for the race win here against Kyle Collins last season. DJ Kurtis looking to put win number 2 on the board in his 21st career win. It would tie Eugene DeMax on the wins list. Stephen Paul III, I don't know if he has the tires to be able to challenge DJ Kurtis, but they will need to pit one more time unless they're saving something. DJ Kurtis, the race leader, hitting pit road. Wow, so that's going to change everything. Second, third, fourth, and fifth are going to be let loose. Stephen Paul III needs to lay down qualifying laps right now. Needs to lay down a blistering lap if he wants to try and clear DJ Kurtis for the race lead. Back to the line, it'll be 10 laps of racing to go. Stephen Paul III, he's also going to come down pit road. However, no one else comes down pit road other than Ryan Acosta. Dajon Weeks setting his eyes on a clear racetrack and needing to do the same thing. Run some of the best lap times he can in this lap. If he stays out another lap, then lap after that. Charlie Smith did a great job to get out of the way of the race leaders. Matthew Rodriguez also doing the same thing as Dajon Weeks. Will the overcut or the undercut pay off DJ Kurtis? There's DJ Kurtis. And there's Stephen Paul III, who just bounced off the wall, leaving pit road. And that's a lot of damage to the zero of Stephen Paul III. He messed up leaving pit road and pancaked the wall. That's going to do a lot of damage. Maybe he needs to go see his teammate. Is that a little too soon? The Flex Hill joke? Anyway, less than 10 laps to go. Ryan Acosta in the 45. He's also pitted and he's clear of Stephen Paul III. But Acosta is trailing DJ Kurtis. The race leaders, they're all on pit road, aren't they? Yes, they are. Matthew Rodriguez and Dajon Weeks are on pit road. DJ Kurtis circling around the final corners. And coming to the line, it'll be about 8 laps to go. There you see Dajon Weeks and Matthew Rodriguez. Weeks able to get out ahead of Matthew Rodriguez, but it's Ryan Acosta that's going to soar past of Dajon Weeks. What a pit stop by Ryan Acosta. Ryan Acosta has gotten around not only Paul III, but Dajon Weeks and Matthew Rodriguez. And Ryan Acosta is going to be in a net second place after this. 5 laps of racing to go. DJ Kurtis leads over Ryan Acosta. Not anymore. Matthew Rodriguez, contact with Weeks and Ryan Acosta. That was near disaster. Weeks trying to dive up the inside, same as Matthew Rodriguez. But Weeks just was just a little bit too late. Ryan Acosta drops down to 3rd. Weeks stays in 4th. Stephen Paul III in 5th. Dylan Young, Anthony Marchese, John Arndt, Nick Mace, and Chris Dodd. That is the top 10. Cody Llamas has dropped outside the top 10. There you see him. He's in 12th place. Dylan Schwallenberg's in 11th. But the battle for the win, DJ Kurtis is out front. And with Hayden Klein in between him and Matthew Rodriguez, I think DJ Kurtis is going to be all set and clear, but you have to stay out of the barriers and you have to keep your car planted straight. DJ Kurtis is very good at doing just that. He's a 2-time champion, trying to become a 3-time champion this season. Possibly gonna walk away with the points lead yet again. Chris Dodd round the outside of Nick Mace, trying to get 9th place. That outside line has proved to be very good. And Dodd with an amazing pass on Nick Mace. Dylan Schwallenberg also trying to make a way past of Nick Mace. This is for 10th position. Dylan Schwallenberg looking for his 7th top 10 of the season. This is gonna be very important. Can he clear Nick Mace? He might be able to do it. Yes, he will. Dylan Schwallenberg, who has fought all day, is going to move his way up to 10th place right at the very end. 2 laps to go. I have a tough time seeing how Matthew Rodriguez, Ryan Acosta, Dajon Weeks, how anybody is going to take this away from DJ Kurtis. Kurtis can't even find a way around of Nick Breeding. Breeding is also stuck behind Brandon Parsons. And they're doing a battle of their own right for 32nd. And Hayden Klein's trying to get back to Nick Breeding, so there are no technical blue flags to get out of the way. All the lap down race cars are entitled to have their own race, but they need to respect the leaders as well. Matt Rodriguez, though, looking almost found a way past of Hayden Klein. That would have been very good for him to try and make a move on DJ Kurtis in the last lap. Acosta has Weeks all over him. Matt Rodriguez is right there on Hayden Klein, but Klein is just quick enough. We come to the white flag one more time around at Trois Rivieres. DJ Kurtis has been supreme all day. Matt Rodriguez is sliding that race car, trying to get something on this last lap. DJ Kurtis just needs to keep it out of the barrier and bring it home. Another 60 points on the board this afternoon would do justice for him. But he's still got a long ways to go. A race for second place behind him, Ryan Acosta. What a comeback, really, by Ryan Acosta. He's on probation. He had the points penalty as well. And Acosta comes in this race 97 points back. He's going to lose some points to DJ Kurtis as it runs. But anyway, DJ Kurtis is going to tie one of the legends of the series in the wins list with 21 career wins, and win number 2 of 2021. DJ Kurtis dominates in Canada and takes the championship lead back. DJ Kurtis wins at Trois Rivieres. Kurtis wins with Matt Rodriguez second, Ryan Acosta third, Dajon Weeks, Stephen Pollard the third. Pollard the third and CM Racing can be very happy with that run. 5th place and 40 points on the board to help get them a little further away from that top 30 in order points cut line. Dylan Young 6th, Anthony Marchese in the 33. That's going to be an amazing run for them in the points. That might have actually leaped them into the top 30 in order points, if not got them very close to right back where they need to be to contest that. North Border Motorsports can be very, very happy with that. And Anthony Marchese, lucky number 7, finishing 7th today. Marchese. And then John Arndt in the 43, finishing 8th. All Allen Family Racing Team getting top 10 results. 8th, the 9th from Chris Dodd, and Dylan Schwallenberg fought and fought and fought. And he gets a top 10 result out of it. Even though he's going to lose points to DJ Kurtis in the championship. He gets 30 points on the board, but he also loses 30 points to DJ Kurtis this afternoon. How about that for Kurtis? 21st career win in the Sony Cup Series. That is phenomenal that he keeps adding wins to the wins list. And he's back on top of the championship table once again. Let's get you to our finishing results and standings after round 11.